Okay, good morning guys. Job this morning is to get the awnings up. I've got those sitting around the side there. It's just should be a matter of measuring up some holes, 6 holes on each side, 6 bolts in, and a little bit of silicone maybe just to seal the holes up, and that should be it. Hopefully there's not a lot more to it than that. It looks like it'll be a fairly simple job, so let's get on with it. Okay, so if I've managed to drill those correctly, it should be just a matter now of slipping the bolts in the back of the awning and bolting it up. Let's hope. Now I suspect this is going to be the fiddly bit, because I've got to get the bolts in and then I've got to line everything up. So I think the idea is to put all the bolts in. Yeah, I'm not sure. Somehow you've got to get them all in more or less at the same time. Not sure how I'm going to do this. This is a bit of an experiment. I've got my stainless steel bolts here. They just slide down into the channel. The fun part is going to be lining these up with the holes. Now it's just a matter of fiddling, I think. Okay, so we've taken the burrs off the holes here, so it's going to lie flat. It's going to be a little bit difficult to silicone those up once it's on, but I guess we'll just have to silicone it from the inside. This is going to be the fiddly bit, so I'm going to need some help with this one, I think. It's going to take just getting a couple of bolts in and just getting the nuts loosely placed on them. And yeah, once we've got that done, then we can adjust the other ones, hopefully. Oh, that's not looking good.
Why?
Gee.
Because?
Shit.
Why?
I don't know if the hole's in the right spot.
The hole's not, I don't think it is in the right spot. You need to push it up.
It won't go up, that's the thing. Shit, I hope they're not all like that.
Well, you measured wrong.
Well, I measured them all pretty carefully. And I have to extend that hole a bit. The bottom one's just not.
Maybe you measured wrong.
I hope they're not all the same.
Up a bit. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, hang on, I gotta get the ladder to see what I'm doing. So we managed to get the bolts through, but the one thing I found is that once you do get the bolts through, you can't adjust the awning. I was hoping you could just slide it along to the position you wanted it, which means I've got a little overhang on the back instead of the front, which is the way I planned it, but I guess it doesn't matter that much. It'll do the job and it'll still be just as secure, and I guess a little bit of overhang at both ends, which is the way it is now, isn't going to hurt. Now it's just a matter of taking the nuts that are just loosely on, putting on all the washers and tightening everything up. Okay, so that's both of the awnings on, but as you can see on the side here, it's not quite flush. So what I'm going to have to do is run a bead of silicone along the back there. I'll get to that a little bit later. There's no urgency because we're under the carport for a while. But before we go away, I'll definitely run a bead of silicone there just to waterproof it. Because what we're going to do next when they arrive is put a couple of LED lights up under the awning here somewhere. It's an orange and white light LED. So once they're up, and then we've got to start looking at the wheel carrier. Because at the moment there's just no way to put a spare wheel on this but in the back, and I definitely don't want to put it in here. So the idea is that we're going to have it on the back door here somewhere. Now whether I'll mount it high or mount it low, what I want really, ideally, is some support from this bar here, just to help hold the wheel carrier on. There's nothing in the middle of the door now. I'm not really sure if that's going to be strong enough to hold a spare wheel. I guess it would be, but once the wheel carrier arrives, and it should be here by the end of the week I guess, then I'll have a better idea of where I'm going to mount that. But I've decided to put it on the back door because I want some weight on the back now. There's going to be a lot of weight up the front with the water tanks and a lot of the gear sitting up there, and plus the battery and that in the front compartment. So we're going to want to balance that out a bit now with some weight on the back, so the spare wheel will go on there. The spare tyre I've got for this is, for some reason, a slightly different size to these, so it's not very useful. It's the one in the corner down there, and the rim is really disgusting, so I'm probably just going to replace the whole thing. And I want rims that match these, and one of the jobs shortly is going to be getting into those with some wire brushes and fish oil, and then repainting them to get some of that rust out. The one on the other side is actually a little bit worse than this one. So I've still got a few jobs coming up. We're starting to look like a camping trailer now. I've got our solar panel on the top there, and the awnings on each side. I don't think I don't know, did I get them pretty close to the same? No, I didn't. That one's hanging out the back a bit more. Never mind. They're very difficult to match up because once you put those bolts in, it's very hard to slide those along. So yeah, this one's hanging out the back a little bit more than the other one. A little bit of a shame. It's about an inch or so, inch and a half's difference. I guess I would have preferred them to be both exact, but it'll do, as long as it doesn't fall off. That's the main thing. The next job is going to be wiring up the lighting. The lights are not here yet, but I guess there's nothing to stop me actually getting stuck into that tomorrow and putting in the switches and the switch box. I've been a real cheapskate when it comes to buying a switch box for it. I don't know if it's lying around here somewhere. What did I do with it? Now my very strange idea was to use this thing, which is just a container. Very cheap way of doing it. We'll attach that to the wood, put a couple of big washers on there and a couple of screws through it, and then the top will be removable, and I'll run the wires through the bottom end of it. And so if I need to get at those switches for any reason, it's only just going to be a matter of unclipping the top. Bit of an unusual switch box, I guess, but I think it'll work. Now these little switches I've got, they're an AB switch, so it's going to be one for each light, and one way is going to be white light, the other way is going to be orange light, and of course the middle will be off. Very simple. I'll just pop those in the container for now, but the wiring is going to be in the next video. Thanks for watching today. She's really starting to take shape, starting to look like a camping trailer. So yeah, hopefully by the end of the week the rest of the gear will be here, or at least, well, all but the hot water system. And we'll have another video to make sometime between now and probably early next week. So we'll catch up with you then. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and cheers for now. See ya.